Hello, everyone. I hope you are well. For this very first podcast, I would like to talk about something that I hear come up repeatedly, not just with belly dancers, but with performers of all kinds, right? This is something that I hear students ask me, other performers ask, teachers asking amongst themselves in Facebook groups, and that's how do I approach and talk to and sell myself to really business owners, people that own restaurants, venues, entertainment places that are looking for entertainment or that possibly have never had entertainment before, but I want to approach them and see if we can make some sort of contract. This is really intimidating, especially since, as of late, if you're anything like me, most of your performance experience has been either private bookings, where it's not a public establishment like a restaurant or a venue, or it's been in something that's more like a theater setting. It's more like a ticketed event where the entire show is marketed and promoted, and you have someone who is running that show, and there's an MC. So typically, the way that we talk about ourselves as performers is through the eyes of an MC introducing us. We write out this very carefully curated speech that typically outlines all of our accreditations and certifications and just how amazing and accomplished we are, and we're the best of the best, and how good we are and how excited we are to be there, because we know that someone is going to read that off before we go on stage and do our magnificent performance. When we're talking to clients that are looking to book us for their event or for their establishment, that wording has to change. It's not the same. And, I was recently reminded of this because I've been talking to more business owners in my area, and a lot of them have never had entertainment before. We've got a lot of new businesses, which is great since the pandemic. And, people that have only been open for a couple of months, they're not sure what to expect, but they're open to talking about it. And I recently sat down with a small business owner of this really, really cool little Moroccan cafe in St. Pete. And she looks so wide-eyed. And the first thing that she asked me was, so tell me more about you and what you do and like, what's your experience in this dance? And she didn't know that I was a little nervous too, because I haven't sat down with someone face to face in quite some time. And I went into autopilot. I rattled off all of my experiences. I just taught in Egypt, I've performed in Las Vegas, and all of these things that are just, by anyone's measure, clearly shows that I am more than capable of handling this, little cafe and entertaining whoever comes through that door, right? But I increasingly saw her eyes getting big, and the next question, of course, was, how much do you charge? And that's when it dawned on me that I had actually oversold myself, because now she's wondering, can I afford to pay you what you're worth? We've gotten so used to being shot down, or people not wanting to pay us, or people wanting to be convinced that we belong, that has become the worry in everyone's mind. When you go to introduce yourself, or you're telling people what it is that you do and how you do it, the fear in the back of our minds as performers is that we're never going to be taken seriously, and no one is ever going to want to pay us, let alone pay us well. So when we start these conversations, it's almost always from a place of fear of, I need to convince you that I belong here and I'm the best, and you would be crazy to not hire me. And by the way, this is how much I charge and I'm not budging. Well, that is definitely has its place. I definitely do agree with that, because there are people who will come from that stance of, you know, trying to undercut you, or they don't want to pay you, or they're hoping that you'll come in and you'll perform for free because you're desperate for work and they can take advantage of the situation. But overwhelmingly, my experience has not been that. My experience has been more along the lines of, I can clearly see that you are an expert in your field, and now I'm worried that I can't afford to hire you for what I know that you are worth. So what do? Does that mean that I don't talk about my achievements? No. I had a long thought about it, and I realized that the next time I sit down with someone, that it's okay to say, I'm an expert in my field and I'm highly regarded as an authority, or to maybe drop a few things like, yes, I have performed all over the state. I have performed for many different ethnicities and different age groups. But I also need to keep in mind that I'm talking to someone in a different context. This isn't an MC that's reading off how amazing I am, and if you think that's great, wait till you see her dance. This is someone who is saying, I want to work with you. So how does this help my business? Does this make sense for my business? Can I pay you what I can afford right now because I really want this, but I also have to keep in mind that I just opened. It's more along those lines. And anyone who is a small business owner would be crazy to not consider how much something is going to cost. So if you are in this position, what I recommend is, first and foremost, be honest. Be honest. Make sure that you are telling the venue owner, like, I would love to know who you typically get through the door. I would love to know what a typical night like is for you so that I can work with you and I can accommodate who your customer base is. Do you get mostly families? Do you get a lot of children? Do you get older people? Do you get a mix of people that come in and out during the night where you're seating tables in a rotating basis? Or is it more like we're going to run an event where it's more like a dinner show? These are important details that let the venue owner know that, yeah, you are an expert in this because you understand how this dynamic works, without having to completely make it sound like you're carrying a Harvard degree in something and you're really worth $10,000 that they cannot give you. And, I realize that some people are going to listen to this and say, but we are worth $10,000. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Absolutely. I'm not saying that we're not. Whatever your price is in your area and for your specialty and for yourself, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, and you should stick with it. What I am saying is that when we talk to people, we have to change the way that we're introducing ourselves depending on who we're talking to. Your method of speech for an MC at a show versus a small cafe that just opened up, the wording will need to be a little bit different. And the good news is that it doesn't negate how wonderful you are as a performer. You are simply tailoring what you are introducing to someone the exact same way that you would a cover letter on a resume. You're tailoring it so that when they receive that information, they say, this is a perfect match for what I am looking for. Nothing more, nothing less. Because then it will open the door to the rest of the conversation of, this is what I charge and why, this is what's included, this is what I need from you, what do you need from me? And it makes it so much easier. So I hope this helps. Write down in the comments below what you think, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you again.